telecoms giant MTN has secured over 1.1 billion Ghana cedis in its historic initial public offering. This was confirmed by officials of MTN at a press briefing earlier today. George Riafi was there for Joy Business and joins me now in the studio. George, first of all, tell me how we got here.
So how we got here, somewhere in May, MTN, before that they got all the approvals from regulators to go out there and do an initial public offering. What we are trying to say is that part of the business was given to the public by issuing a certain number of shares actually to them. So basically what meant was that they will get a fraction of that shares looking at the amount that they were trying to raise. And MTN, doing this offer, was looking for somewhere around 3.47 billion Ghana cedis by issuing a certain amount of shares. After the almost 2 months period in trying to raise this offer, they got a little over 1.14 billion Ghana cedis.
That's quite a lot, right?
That's quite a lot, but it's still more than what they said. So they're looking at that per the agreement with regulators. If they're able to raise 347 million Ghana cedis, that would deem the offer successful. But compare that 1.1 billion Ghana cedis or 1.14 billion Ghana cedis to the about 3.47 billion that we're looking for. That is quite a small fraction.
You remember when it started this whole thing, people who wanted to buy shares didn't even get a chance to do that because they wanted an extension. So if you had done that, I'm sure they would have gone beyond.
If you again look at the composition and the amount of money that the institutional investors brought in, some would say that, well, it might not be that big even if we had given all those people the chance to buy into this offer. You're looking at somewhere around 60-something from institutional investors and a little over 30-something from Ghanaians who actually bought into this offer. So it's very, very interesting. By the end of the day, they've been able to raise this, and one would say that all is set for them to go and list on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
George, but what more do we know about this offer?
So we're looking at the fact that a significant amount of what was tendered in came in from institutional investors. We're also looking at the fact that out of 128,000 people that bought in, we're looking at 120-something came in from Ghanaians, actually, and the rest was spread as in those who came from outside to buy into this offer. So if you look at the fraction again, let's look at the histories that have been made here. In terms of the amount that is raised, that will be the biggest ever that has been raised in recent times in terms of initial public offering. Also, if you look at the mood that which they used to mobilize the money, you're looking at the fact that a chunk of what they raised also came through the mobile money platform as well.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
Raising that amount of money. You're looking at the fact that they have the biggest offer that Ghanaians have actually participated in terms of the amount of money that they raised. And the fact that when they go onto the market again, it could be one of the biggest listings on the market in terms of the amount raised and the amount of shares that they are going to put on the Ghana Stock Exchange. That is, if my calculation is right, just this coming Wednesday, they'll start trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
You've been engaging officials of MTN, right?
Yeah.
What have they been saying?
Well, they're quite excited. They believe that in every move that they took, they have made history in terms of how things will go along. The CEO, Adadivo himself, was so excited about it, and he was talking about the fact that now, yes, of course, they've gone public, and they're going to let people appreciate the fact that MTN was just doing what it was supposed to be doing initially, even before they came to public or try and go onto the public or try and be a public offer or be a listed company quoted on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Okay, let's now hear from officials of MTN on this development.
I mean, remember, MTN is a listed company in South Africa at a group level, and we have standards that traverse all operations. So we're already operating under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of diligence, and that would continue. So I don't expect that to change with the IPO. Yes, there are additional responsibilities like the AGM, but not necessarily in terms of stress on our processes and internal mechanisms. These are all things we've already held to very high standards, and those will continue.
I asked the previous question about the fact that, and I wanted a little bit of clarity on that, you came to the regulator asking for certain things, and there's certain requirements were put forward for you to give about 35% of the business to the public. You went to the public offering. That amount of shares has still not been taken up. Do you think that there will be another opportunity for that to be taken up?
So from the 5th of September, once we list, there'll be secondary trading. So we'd expect trading activities. At this moment, in terms of the IPO, that process is closed, and therefore the shares that weren't taken up are no longer available. However, we've exceeded, and I'd like to re-emphasize that we have exceeded the 10% minimum that the Ghana Stock Exchange and that's agreed as a minimum to define success. And we're extremely happy that we've achieved over 330% of that minimum. And that for us is a fantastic accomplishment.
Quite an excited official there. What's next for
the chief executive of MTN, and he's so excited about it.
Yeah, so what's next for
What is next for the
MTN?
company? They are going onto the stock exchange to list this Wednesday. For those who failed to get an opportunity to participate in the initial public offering, or called the IPO, on the secondary market, when they start trading, there will be another opportunity. But pray that the price doesn't go up. That is 75 pesos per share.
Thank you very much, George.
Thank you so much, Sandra.
For coming on Business Live.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
excited for MTN.
Well, let's see.
Okay, moving on. Ghana Revenue Authority has suspended the implementation of the cargo tracking note system. The new date for its implementation is now 1st of September to the 15th of October.
Information regarding the suspension of the implementation of the new date was communicated in a notice to various shipping lines. Also in the notice, the GRA directed the shipping lines to refund monies paid to importers and freight forwarders ahead of the implementation of the cargo tracking note system. Speaking to the press, President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, shared details of his meeting with the President.
He told us categorically clear that he is mandated to rule this country and he needs resources to do that, and that anything that he will do to ensure that he enhances upon the revenue of the state, he will do that. By in so doing, he also have to listen to pleas such as the one that the business community is coming, especially if it is legitimate. So the opportunity was granted to us, and we give our grievances to them. And fortunately for all the four, he saw reason that something should be made on it.
President of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Kwabeno Fosuapia, on his part, was happy with the government's decision and noted the situation should not have gotten to this extent.
This actually exposes or magnifies the fears that we've been having all this while, that we have been stonewalled. Did we have to come this far for the president of the land, who has ministers, deputy ministers, technical directors, chief directors, to take this decision? I kept saying that even the 6 months, the 6 weeks that have been given for us to sit down and talk, we don't even need 1 hour to expose what the CTN cannot deliver to us. We don't need 1 hour.
You think the president has been misled?
Very well so, but it is good that this time, you know, it was just fortuitous. Something happened at the Jubilee House.
The planned cargo tracking note at Ghana's ports, among others, is expected to maximize government's revenue and monitor traffic of imports into the country. But some importers say it is a disincentive to their business.
President of Group Indum, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, is proposing the use of accrued pension funds to support local banks in meeting the minimum capital requirements. Dr. Papakwesi Indum is also challenging the regulator to consider using the funds to support local businesses and banks rather than foreign companies.
Under the theme Pensions and Insurance Policies, Regulations and Practice, the missing links, the UGG and Pensions and Insurance Research Fund aims to support research for the financial sector. With reference to the current challenges in the banking sector, the president of Group Indum suggested the use of pension funds to support local banks.
If today the Bank of Ghana says banks need capital, additional capital of 400 million Ghana cedis. Some banks were started with 70 million. Others were started with 120 million. And they are asked to go from those levels to 400 within 12 months. Fair enough, if that's what the regulator wants. So all of us in the banking industry, that's what we've been doing the whole year. But I'm asking the question. We have pension funds there. Those pension funds have more money than the local banks need. And indeed, some of the funds that haven't come to the pension fund managers, it's a lot. So if special dispensation was given, the same local pension fund money can be used to finance what, I'm not talking about what all the local banks need, because you have to review them and look at the ones who are practicing good governance, the ones who are serious and doing the right things. And they shouldn't have to run to Nigeria, to South Africa, to America, to the UK, to go and look for money to meet this 400 million minimum capital, when we have pension funds sitting there.
In response, the Director of Research at the National Pensions Regulatory Authority said the proposal was worth considering.
What the pensions regulator has done is come up with guidelines for these investments. Happily, he touched on equities. Yes, that is what promotes development of industries. But you'll be amazed that the fund managers take very little interest in that. Even though we've allocated up to invest about 20% for investment in equities, I bet you the rate on the ground is that they invest less than 4% into that area. We have even gone ahead to even liberalize the investment regime by saying that we're a developing country. We need funds to push our industries, amongst others. So we included a lot of instruments that I think will be of interest for that purpose. We introduced private equity, we've introduced venture capital, we've introduced derivatives and so on for people to take advantage, but it's not being done. One area that I think we also need to do, happily the business school could do that, is to advance as much education in pension fund investments. Pretty useful. All these instruments that I've talked about, they are new instruments for the Ghanaian market. Private equity, venture capital, derivatives, give a lot of training, particularly to the trustees and fund managers in these areas, to encourage them to recommend this to the trustees of various pension funds, so that monies will be channeled into developing local Ghanaian industries.
The UGGN Re-Pensions and Insurance Research Fund was supported with 150,000 Ghana cedis from GN Reinsurance. Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
You're still watching Business Live on Joy News. We pause for a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Business Live, and let's now cross over to Norway, where Darrell Kwao is covering the Offshore Northern Sea Conference and exhibition for us, and he takes us to some Ghanaian pavilions.
Today we have brought you to the Ghana Pavilion. You can see it over there, the stand where the Petroleum Commission has set up. We've got, like we've been reporting, so many Ghanaian companies coming to this conference and exhibition to showcase what they have and to foster partnerships. So I'm going to take you around the Ghana Pavilion. I have here, as you'd see, Freddie Jordan Oil Company Limited. So what's your name?
My name is Kwame Chantua.
Okay, so tell me about your experience.
Well, so far it's been quite good, and you realize that it's those who are very interested in coming into Ghana that are coming to the stand. But yes, for a local company, I think it's been quite good.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about the theme for this year's conference, which is Innovate. How do you think that is critical for the oil and gas sector, innovation?
Well, when you look at oil and gas, it's an evolving industry, and you have different facets of the oil industry. You have onshore, offshore, you have shallow to deep, you have ultra deep. All these come with different types of logistics and different types of organizations that you need. And so we have placed ourselves whereby whether it's onshore, whether it's offshore, whether it's ultra deep, whether it's deep, whether it's shallow, we can partner some of these companies that come in. But it's a very interesting industry and quite a wide industry too.
All right, thank you very much. That was Freddie Jordan Oil Company Limited. I want to take you to our next stand, which is the Barge Freight company. So we want to find out exactly what they do. The director is here, Ato.
Yes.
How's it been so far?
Well, we can't complain. We give thanks to God. It's very positive for us to be here.
Are people approaching you? Are people expressing interest in what you do?
Yes, very much so. And if I may say so, we actually recently had a contract with Arc Energy.
And we've been talking about the difficulties that local companies face in venturing into partnership with multinationals because of concerns about their capabilities. But for you, you have been, should I say, blessed enough to have to partner such a multinational. What do you think you do differently, or what do you think that you have done over the years that has made you catch the eye of a multinational like Ake?
Yeah, the fact that we say that local companies are not up to it itself is a cliche which has been overused, and wrongly so. We have a budding industry, as in the oil and gas industry is budding, and so obviously we don't expect to be at the standard of the multinationals. Having said that, there are a lot of capable companies here in Ghana who are able to partner, and they've done so over the years with foreign companies, and they deliver on their mandate as well.
So officials from the Petroleum Commission are here. We've got officials from the GMPC, we've got government officials.
German automobile manufacturer Volkswagen has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Ghana as to the begin the move to establish an assembling plant in the country. The move is part of the Germany African Investment Drive campaign by the two countries after the G20 summit last year. And my colleague Ebenezer Sabote is standing by at the Kempinski Hotel to give us an update. Hello, Ebenezer, can you hear me?
Hi, Sandra, I can hear you.
Okay, so what more can you tell us about this deal?
So the German automobile company VW has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Ghana in the sense that they want to establish an assembling plant here in Ghana. You know, VW is one of the vehicles that is being purchased, widely in Ghana and some of the West African countries. So what they are trying to do is to bring the market down here. I spoke with the MD of VW, MD for VW Africa a while ago, who indicated to me that they are looking at January 2019 to set up this assembling plant. I also asked him about competition, how they are going to drive the market, and he spoke to me. He told me that yes, indeed, they know that the other automobile companies have also been importing into this country, but they are ready to partner with the government to develop the industry to, a strong footing.
If you can also update us on what's the drive for this? Why are we looking at VW coming to establish an assembling plant here?
So the market for VW in West Africa is growing, and it is about time they have an assembling plant here in Ghana as well. If you could remember very well, there are other vehicles too, but when they did their own research, they found out that VW is having a big market in West Africa, and Ghana is best positioned to have their assembly plant. They looked at Ghana's industrialization drive as in the industrialization drive of the current administration, and they think that they fit in the agenda, so they could be able to partner with the government. I asked him about some tax incentives, which he confirmed to me that yes, indeed, they are asking government to give them some incentives, because since they will be assembling vehicles in Ghana, they will not be able to allow some other vehicles to be imported into the country. So they will be working with the government to give them incentives on some of these materials that they will be importing into the country. Don't forget, they are not manufacturing, but they are only assembling.
All right.
Therefore, they will need some incentives so that they could be able to get the vehicles onto the market.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer Sabote. Great news for Ghana. My first car was actually VW, so looking forward to seeing them in Ghana. But that is how we wrap up tonight on Business Life. Thanks so much for watching, and for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Sandra Isenamapeno.